Namaste, beautiful yogis. And I had a quick spark of inspiration, so I decided to come on here and talk to you. And I always even say that I'm a little sweaty, but anyways, I'm coming on to speak. And I always thought it's a coincidence that I just come on for the talk videos when I'm sweaty right after workout, because I'm already in the groove of movement. But I realized something deeper. I actually get sparks of intuition when I move. So right when I'm done working out, I am most inspired to talk to you or to speak about deeper truths, or to talk about deeper stuff. So I think that's why I always come on here after workout when I'm sweaty. It's not because the camera is on, maybe if I'm shooting a video, because this time I was just doing my own movement. And again, as I was moving, I get downloads of thoughts, information, inspiration, and I have to catch it. It's usually something that comes and goes, and you have to be quiet. And for me, peacefulness and quietness comes in the moments when I'm moving, because it creates space. And it's the most beautiful place of alignment for me. I literally feel the most alignment when I'm moving, and I think that's why I teach movement, and that's why I teach spirituality, not so much through spirituality, but through movement. Even though spirituality in its pure form of awareness is my true love, but I started as a career path and as a calling, vocation. I started teaching it through the means of movement, sometimes in ways that it doesn't even look very spiritual. You're lifting dumbbells or something, because I think that is my form of service and communication. Anyways, I wanted to speak about purpose. I have an announcement. Don't think it's a big announcement. I decided I've been thinking about names that I can call my starter. I want to call it something beautiful and profound because it's a living being, and it's an alive entity. And you're supposed to name it. And I've named mine a few times, but it doesn't stick. It's not the right name. And I've been thinking to call it the ancient Sumerian goddesses of the grain and dates and war and love and sex. Can you believe what combination that is? But it's very powerful. Either Inanna or Ishtar. But it's very powerful. So then I was going through different names, and I think I'm gonna call it Luna. Luna is the Bulgarian word for moon, and it's the feminine, intuitive energy, the energy of the feminine, of the intuition, of nourishment, connectivity. And that is the power of the feminine. I think that's why in the past we have seen so much persecution of females, witch hunts, in all sorts. It's because a woman, when she is in her power, when she's powerful, that means she's connected to the earth. She's connected to nature's. She's connected to nature. She is in harmony with nature. She can source from nature. She understands the natural forces of the universe, and she's in her power. And that has also always scared. That has always scared the powers that be it religion at the time and governments or whatever that was, because people that are empowered, especially women who are empowered, because women are the ones that will connect love in humanity, will bring love to humanity. We have to have someone to bring it here, because we're so starved for love here as a species. Anyways, so I got sidetracked here because I said I discovered the name for my starter, which is exciting. I think I'll keep that name. If you have really beautiful names for a starter, let me know. I think I have my name, but I wouldn't mind just hearing different names. I love interesting names. I was even thinking to do a video of the names that I was gonna call Lotus, my daughter, but the names that didn't make it, because they were all good. They were all really beautiful names. So I wanted to talk about purpose with this long intro, how to feel your own purpose, because a lot of you come in during a pivotal point in your life, either big suffering, something major change happened in your life, you feel lost, and you start looking for yoga. And usually when you connect with me, with my particular style of teaching, it's usually something that you're looking for catharsis. You're looking for something soothing, but also something cathartic. And I don't know why I like to bring that as a style of teaching or as a service, but I do like it. I like some form of intensity, even through the perkiness of this. Even in a perky surface, I do like things with substance and things that are profound. That is what I've always been after. So, looking for your purpose. I think we all will feel dissatisfied if we are not walking our path and expressing our talents. We all have talents. I was actually watching yesterday a show, PBS, I really recommend it, the History of Country Music on PBS. And Chris Christopherson, he was a Oxford graduate and third or more generation army. So he was well on his way to join the army, and he disappointed his family. They disowned him because I think he really valued a quote by William Blake, and I don't know the quote. If you know it, post it below. But in essence, it said that if you will burn in hell if you don't serve humanity with your gifts. And it's very it is very dramatic, but I think what it means, you'll be forever, as long as you're here, dissatisfied if you're given gifts that you can serve and heal people with, regardless of what it is. You can be a good gardener and you go and do something else because it's a successful career. And I have always been softly encouraging, more so with my steps rather than with my words, to follow your bliss, to follow your path, to step on the road less traveled. I remember I was a big reader, and I used to read literally hundreds of books every few months. I would go through hundreds of books, to the point where I stopped liking books because I couldn't find anything I didn't already haven't read or didn't know. And you can definitely find books, even I can definitely find books with information that I don't know, but it becomes hard when you read so much as I used to. So I remember I used to take the limit at the library, the 30 books limit. So I had taken a bunch of books and I lost one, and I couldn't find it, and we had to pay, I think, 5 times the price of the book because I couldn't return it. And then after a long while I found it on my shelf, and it was right in front of my eyes, I think. But the book was The Road Less Traveled. So I thought symbolic. I love looking at symbols and things. I like paying attention to details, I like being quiet so I can hear the universe speak to me in symbols and signs. And if your ego jumps in when there is a symbol, you will misread it. So sometimes you can say something and a knife would fall down at the time you say it, and you would read that with your mind and you would misread it. So you have to always stay in that flow, that yogic flow of not sparking the brain, but feeling. And sometimes the feeling is hard to put into words, but it is something that you can understand. So when you're trying to find your purpose, you always have to first you have to pause and go in the space where you feel, where you're most connected to your core, to your eternal being, to your truth, to your deep truth. And that usually for me happens through movement. If I'm doing heavy jumping, if I'm doing a yoga flow, if I'm taking a walk in nature, if I'm taking a little time to myself, usually through movement for me, I get downloads, I get inspiration, I get clarity. And that is one way to constantly come back in alignment and feeling what your purpose, what your draw, what your desire is. You can see your talents by your interests. What are you most drawn to and what you always want to do? You usually have a deep knowing of what you need to do. It is not hidden from you. It is only hidden if you're not ready to do it. But if you have a knowing, and a knowing is really hard to explain. I remember I used to say when I was very young, a teenager, I had a knowing of what my path is, how I will manifest healing into the world, because I knew I need to do healing in the world. And I always had a knowing of my path, and I felt it significant. Of course, it is significant to me. And I couldn't put it in words for you, but I had a strong feeling of it. I could taste it, but I couldn't describe it to you. And it slowly comes in terms, comes in form as you follow your path. Quiet down so you can feel your purpose is one step. Bring yourself in alignment. Always try to elevate your frequencies. It's almost a quote and a cliche, but always try to reside in higher frequencies. Always try to be in the space of love, even in the tough moments in life. Always try to be connected to love and God and divinity, even in the moments when you're crying. Always try to remember that you're always interconnected with all of existence, and keep yourself in a place where you feel elevated, where you feel connected, where you feel inspired, and do the things that make you feel that way. You can always source from within. You can always find that sensation deep within yourself. So always come back to it. Move daily, eat pure food, connect with nature. Those are things that will keep you in alignment. Be in the sun, listen to music that makes you feel good, connect with people that make you feel good. Even when you come onto YouTube, listen to the people that make you feel inspired, that put a spark in your gut. Listen to your gut. It's almost that your intuition resides. Get books that inspire you, that make your soul fly, that give you that spark of, oh my God, life is such a beautiful thing, and this place is such a beautiful thing, and everything is so unlimited. There is so much. It's like the light. It is unlimited to all of us. So keep yourself inspired so that you can manifest, and also use affirmations so that you can manifest. But be careful how you choose your affirmations and what you want to manifest. You can do all the steps for manifestation, but if they're not in alignment or they're not connected with an idea that has integrity in it, if your intention is not right, you're not going to be manifesting the things that you're trying to manifest, even if you're moving through all the steps. So, and always believe that as lost as you may feel, things always change. In your most lost moments, that is when you hit rock bottom and you start coming up. Or when you're most lost, you can most be connected, because that is the time. There is a Bible quote. Again, you can place the exact quote in the comments below. But when you feel most abandoned, God is most with you. I remember one time I was in a really, really difficult place in my life, and a friend wanted me to go with him to a church, and I don't think I've been to service a lot, maybe never. Anyway, so I resisted, but I decided to go. It's a famous Hollywood church that has a really good vibe. I think Justin Bieber goes there. And when I went there, you're encouraged to talk to everybody, and everybody was beautiful. It was just beautiful Hollywood actresses, and everybody was super young. and like super hip. All the guys were completely tatted from top to bottom, and all the girls were supermodel beautiful. But like the vibe was so beautiful. And when we went in the church, and the pastor was a stand-up comedian, pretty much, it was so engaging, so beautiful, so intuitive. It was a really good lecture, and so from a level that I connected with it. I cried so hard, and that was the lecture about when you're most lost. That's when you're most when you feel most abandoned. That's when God loves you most. So when you feel most lost, understand that you're most loved, you're most connected. And when you hit rock bottom, you start to come up, because when you are lost, that is a defining moment for you. That's when you understand your true deep nature. And I think it's blink. So when you're most lost, you can pause, and in the deepest darkness, in the deepest void, you can hear your deep intuition. Because as even Abraham Links, you can listen to her. Pain, or even when you feel lost, that's contrast. Because without contrast, you cannot find what you want. If you don't know what you don't want, you wouldn't know what you want. So use those things as tools. When you're lost, use it as a tool to get found. When you feel not loved, which is a spiritual opportunity for spiritual growth. When we don't feel loved, love more, give more love. If you don't feel love, because not feeling loved is a spiritual crisis within. It has nothing to do with how much love you're receiving, but mostly what you're not being able to give. Everything is a lesson for our own internal growth and our own connection to the divine, and everything is an opportunity to be more connected, to feel the universe more, to feel universal love more. I think those are a few practical things that you can do in order to be on your path and manifest your purpose. Purpose is something that is fulfilling what you came here for, fulfilling the reason why you're here, so that you can personally grow, but also you can serve in the healing of humanity, of the collective. And we all have our talents, and sometimes healing comes in indirect ways. You don't have to be in the healing arts, but elevating consciousness through your own personal growth and output into the world is powerful. And when you see people that are doing it, get inspired. They're showing you how beautiful it is to serve. It's not something to be jealous of, but rather something to be inspired about. Because jealousy only lowers your frequencies, and you're a lot further from manifesting when you feel jealous than when you root for people and you understand that them manifesting is just another example of how you can do it. So that is all I wanted to say. I hope I said it because I was just flowing, coming from a workout, and again, sweaty as usual. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Just tapping into your own inner resources and using contrast, or using low points, or even places of suffering to turn things around, and to also test your character to see what you're made out of. Because how you feel is really what manifests. Who you are is really what we manifest. It's not our thoughts, our disconnected thoughts. It is the whole thing. Your intention, what you're made out of, that's what becomes manifested. It's not just being in one frequency but wanting something else. That's not going to produce manifestation. You want to feel what you want to manifest, so the intention, the desire, and your goal, they have to be a match with how you feel, where you're at, who you are, what you are, because those two are going to produce the results. And you can use the tools as vision boarding or affirmations, speaking in present tense only of what you want to manifest, who you want to be, what you want to be in the world, what force you want to be, and aligning that with pure intentions, with love. Then you're set to really create. So I'll see you soon. I hope this was of benefit to you, and I love you. Namaste.